Hello, hello, pretty makers! We're getting very close to Christmas, so I thought I'd give Santa a fancy new sleigh. My inspiration is this Mackenzie-Childs sleigh ornament that caught my eye. This came out really pretty with tons of detail. It's whimsical and rich all at the same time. There were some parts that I was worried wouldn't work, but everything came together beautifully. As I mentioned, there's a lot of detail in this project to keep it as true to the inspiration as possible. But you'll see that many of the little parts are optional, or you could find alternatives to make it a lot easier. I'll point out just a few as we move along, so keep watching. But I do need your help with one of those details, so please check that out a little later in the video. So if you're ready, let's go make something pretty. Obviously the base is this Tree Red Sleigh. I also used some plastic easels from Dollar Tree. You can also find them on Walmart or Amazon. You'll need one small and one medium easel. They come apart pretty easy. Just slide something thin in the joint and gently apply upward pressure. Once one side slips out, they should come apart. To prep the sleigh, use a little acetone to remove the white writing on the one side. It should come off super easy. I also used a lot of hot glue molds to make all the intricate details on the side of the sleigh. If you've been watching me, you know I use them a lot. Check out my Pretty Embellishments for Pennies videos for all the details on how to make them once you're done here. I used 2 different molds to make the swirls for the details. I took some time to determine the placement, so there were some openings for where I wanted to place the courtly check and stripes. Once I was happy with the placement, I glued the molds together to make one solid piece. This is a really good tip when working with these molds. This made it a lot easier to put it on and off the sleigh without losing the actual design. I spray painted all the pieces gold. I also spray painted the easels silver, both sides. The inspiration also had little daisies on the sleigh rails. I created them using hot glue. Using the back of a silicone mold, I made little teardrop shapes. Take 5 petals and shape a flower, then add a dot of glue in the center to hold it all together. Paint the petals white with a yellow center. This step is optional. I made a template out of paper for the spaces where I wanted to create the stripes and checks, and then cut them out. Using Dollar Tree black and white vinyl, I made the checks and stripes design. I thought this would be easier than trying to paint in such a small area. For the stripes, I cut black vinyl in 1/8 inch wide strips. I did the same for the checks, cutting little squares from the black vinyl, then placing them in a design. This is the first place where you can save some time. If you have a Cricut, you can make it really easy by cutting a grid. I just can't wait till I get my own. Once you have a big enough piece, trace the paper templates onto the vinyl and cut it out. Now let's create some presents. Here's where you can also save some time. Instead of making mini presents, you could just fill the sleigh with some ornaments or make a quick floral arrangement, and skip this step completely. For my mini presents, I used small Dollar Tree plastic containers and some lids from some other smaller containers. I also used some Jenga blocks to create small boxes for more interest. I spray painted a few gold and a few white. Then I used Dollar Tree red glitter ribbon to make the bows on each present. In the inspiration, there were some pops of lime green, which I wanted to include. I found some Dollar Tree lime green tissue paper and curly ribbon, which worked great. I wrapped the Jenga block squares with the tissue paper and then used some high gloss Mod Podge to give it a glossy finish. For the Santa bag, I used a small Dollar Tree plastic container. You could use a small leftover container for this as well and save some money. I covered it with some red Dollar Tree mini tree skirt material that was left over from the dress forms I made in a previous video. I'll leave a link for that video here. To create the Harlequin design around the edge, I used Dollar Tree electrical tape. I painted one strip white and then cut out little white diamonds. Layer them on top of the black strip. And then add some clear gems. On the inspiration, there was a deer on the front of the sleigh. To recreate this, I used the white deer from the Dollar Tree ornament, as well as this seashell Easter egg. I used the Easter egg before in a cool way on my coastal collection, if you want to check that out later. Cut most of the neck off of the deer, then spray paint all the pieces gold. Now let's put it all together. First I made the sleigh rails. Hot glue one medium and one small easel piece together, overlapping them slightly. Press it onto a flat surface as the glue dries to make sure it will lay flat. Do the same for the second set. Make sure they are both the same length. Now attach them to the sleigh. I attached one side, then aligned the other side as best as I could so the sleigh would stand evenly. Next, add the stripes and check pieces to the sleigh. Align the stripe piece first, peel the vinyl back and attach it in place. Do the same for the two check pieces as well. Align them on the frame and remove the backing to attach them in place. Once you have the pattern pieces in place, lay the mold frame over the top and glue it in place. Repeat these steps for the other side. I added two smaller embellishments as well below the frame for more detail. I also created another embellishment for the back of the sleigh. This project is all about the little details. Glue the deer head and the shell to the front of the sleigh. And finally, add the little daisies to the rails. Fill the sleigh with all the mini gifts you just created. And you're done. To really make it true to the inspiration, I was going to add some red, gold, and silver glitter glue. Let me know if you think I should add it, and I'll post an update on Facebook, so make sure you follow me there. This project took a little pre-planning and some trial and error, but it really came out so pretty. The hot glue molds make it very rich and elegant, and they only cost pennies to make. Overall, this whole project cost about $8. I don't think anyone will know you made it from Dollar Tree supplies. I hope you saw something today that inspired you. If you did, please subscribe. If you have any questions, leave me some comments. I thank you for watching and keep making pretty things.